Hi and welcome to Travel and Talks. Today in this episode, we are going to understand the brand IHCL Selections.
Content partner for this episode is Window Gallery.
And to talk about the brand and the property they have in Goa, we have with us Himadri Ray. Himadri, welcome to Travel and Talks.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me over with you, Surajj. And it's a great privilege to be here. And thank you so much for featuring the Yellow House Goa.
All our pleasure. Himadri, before we move on to the brand IHCL Selections, let's understand the brand Himadri Ray. Give us a little bit about yourself.
So, tell you a little about myself. My journey with hospitality started 20 years back with Taj Bengal, Calcutta. And I've been with IHCL over 20 years now. So, I worked in various properties at various locations. So, I started off with Taj Bengal, Calcutta for 5.5 years. Then I moved on to Aurangabad for about 1.5 years. And then I was at Taj Lands in Mumbai for 5.5 years. And before moving into Goa, I was for 6 years in Bangalore. So that's more so a bit about my journey till now. And I've been here for the last 2 years, overseeing the property as a general manager.
Right. So you've traveled a lot of cities in the country and been to multiple hotels.
Yes, I have been with only one brand as IHCL. So it has given me the opportunity. The organization is a great organization, I would say, to work with, and it has given me the opportunity to grow within the organization, working at various locations. To say, for my maximum locations that I've worked is in business hotels and in cities, as you would see. But with a bit of Aurangabad was a resort kind of, or a kind of a destination where tourists would visit. So this was my first resort property, but that's the kind of opportunity that the organization gives you. For people who can perform and who can deliver.
I'm sure you're very happy about coming to Goa. Are you not?
I am absolutely glad that I was chosen for this property.
Right.
And I believe Goa has a distinct charm about itself.
Definitely.
And over the last 2 years, I'm falling in love with it.
Great. Okay, now let's talk about the brand IHCL Selections. Okay, and let's also talk about this property. It's a very beautiful property. I've just recently heard that the property is almost 200-year-old. So give us a little more about this.
Right. So to start with the brand Selections.
Yes.
So Selections is a very soft brand. It was conceived about 8-9 years back, where there was a lot of the millennials who were traveling at that point of time. They wanted something different to do or to go to when they are traveling for leisure or they're traveling for vacations. They didn't want it to be in a formal kind of a five-star hotel where you need to be dressed in a certain way to be in the restaurant. You're dressed in a certain way to be in a club lounge, or they want to feel relaxed, and stays to be more experiential. So from there, that inherent need for experiential stays is where the Selections brand came in from, which is a kind of hotels which are boutique in nature, and they're built under 3 different pillars. One is a slice of time. So basically, the hotel will have a nature of a kind of a heritage kind of a touch to it, like what we have over here. It's a 250 years old villa. So more so to do with that. Even if you go for Ooty Savoy, that has a heritage attached to it, which is also a Selections brand. Right. Then it's a location, which is kind of unique, or the hotel itself is unique. Like if I give you an example of President Mumbai.
Right.
So over there, if you go to Mumbai, everybody calls it President. Nobody calls it Taj President or IHCL Selections President.
Right.
That hotel itself has its own identity. So these are hotels with unique identity, which is kind of represented by the brand Selections. So it's a brand in itself. And it kind of focuses on hyper-local, people who are visiting these places for their stays to be experiential, and they need to feel the place, where they're going. So if somebody is coming to a hotel, they need to experience Goa. They need to, all our experiences, our food, everything is curated across the culture and heritage of the place.
Interesting.
So that is more so. and to make you feel relaxed and kind of pause and take a break from your regular, 9 to 6 or whichever schedule you are in,
Right.
kind of break from it and take a pause and feel the vacation, feel the break that you would like to have in this busy life.
So bottom line, probably, if I understand it well, IHCL selections is more about properties with the importance, the heritage importance, and a touch of local, right? That's, if not mistaken.
Yes, yes.
Correct? Now, when I'm talking about location, we are in Goa, okay, and we've seen Goa evolving, okay. There was a time, a lot of couples would come on, holiday, they would come on honeymoon. But over a period of time, we've seen a lot of change in terms of Goa becoming a destination for celebrations, be it corporate, be it concerts, be it parties. Goa is all about celebration, bade festivals, yeah, bade corporate conferences happening. So, as a property, do you cater to this segment?
Yes. So, you're absolutely right. Goa as a destination has kind of evolved further from just tourists to MICE and groups and events, So, just a few days back, we had the F1 event happening at Goa in Mopa. I don't know whether
F4.
F4, yeah.
F4.
Yeah. So it's becoming a place for events.
Right.
But I come in from the perspective of this hotel. We are a boutique hotel. We are a 49-room boutique hotel. We kind of cater to celebrations, yes, of course, and to corporate events as well. So which are intimate in nature. So if you are kind of looking at celebrating your 40th birthday or your 25th anniversary or you're celebrating your 60th birthday, you can take over the entire hotel.
Nice.
And you can call in your 100 friends or friends and family and have an intimate celebration in the hotel. So what gives it a more richer experience is, Suraj, where you will feel in each and every corner of the hotel, you can see your own people who you can engage and interact with.
Correct.
It will give you more of a homely feeling rather than in a vast and expanse property. You will feel lost. You won't find your people all the time. So smaller property gives you that experience when you're doing celebrations. Between the range of 70 to 100 people, we can easily cater to it. And, we have a banquet hall which is 1,600 square feet, which kind of fits perfectly on for the occasions that we cater to for about 100, 120 people. And we have a open alfresco just behind us, which is attached with the bar and the restaurant, which can cater to for any events which is open to air.
Right.
Apart from that, we also have a lawn which is attached with the banquet hall and the poolside. So it kind of comes together as a third venue.
So, we've been speaking about the event spaces. Now, tell me, what is the total inventory of this place?
So we have 49 rooms.
49 rooms.
Yes. So we have 5 categories of rooms.
Okay.
Which is there. So we start off with the base category, which is about 29 square meters of area with a balcony which overlooks the Anjuna greenery and also the Anjuna village on the other side. So that's the base category. Apart from that, we have a garden room, which is also, we are a pet-friendly hotel.
Oh, is it?
Yes, yes, we are a pet-friendly hotel. Selections as a brand is a pet-friendly brand.
Okay.
All Selection hotels are pet-friendly.
Nice.
And we have pet-curated menus, we have pet-curated amenities, we have pet-curated pet beds. If you're coming with a pet, you're all taken care of. When we don't say we are pet-friendly, we say we are pet-sensitive.
Okay.
So that's how much detailing we do about pets. So apart from that, the garden room, which is a paucation room, so which has a small garden attached to it. We have 4 of them down on the ground floor. And on the other side, we have plunge pool rooms, which has a room attached with a plunge pool. We have 6 of them. Right. Then we have a premium room with balcony, which overlooks the Anjuna Greens that I was talking about. We have the Baga River just flowing next to it. So you can just get lost with your espresso and reading a book if you're sitting on the balcony. And in fact, it's one of my best rooms that I would call for it. And then apart from that, we have the selection suite, which is in this heritage villa. It has a grand staircase going up. And that's the only suite that we have in the hotel.
So this is about the rooms. Tell me, what kind of cuisine do you guys serve here, and how many F&B outlets do you have? How many restaurants? How many bars?
Yes. So we are a boutique hotel and we have only one restaurant, which is the Palette, where we have our all-day dining, which is our all-day dining as well. We serve our breakfast, lunch, and dinner across, and then we have this heritage bar, the Botikim. So a lovely bar, which is also open for celebrations, and we have a nice courtyard attached to the restaurant where we do a lot of unique dining. If you're coming for an anniversary celebration, if you're coming for a regular vacation, it's always good to revive your vows with your loved one in the shadow of a 250 years old courtyard. Gives you that.
सात जन्म का साथ maybe for another 250 years to go, 250 lives.
Absolutely.
Interesting. And the other part we heard about this place is, I heard you are actually trying to compete with sundowner, cocktail sundowners. We heard your high tea is amazing here. Why was that actually? I mean,
So, Suraj, when we conceptualized the concepts, so of course, Goa is known for the sundowners, the drinks and cocktails. Of course, that goes without saying. But our concept of the high tea is more so goes with the concept of Susegad, which is known for in Goa.
मतलब दोपहर को सो जाओ, you wake up in the evening, you have your high tea.
Exactly.
Okay, got it.
Exactly.
Okay.
So it's actually, if you book for a room which is higher than the base category, the high tea is included for you. And it has, some...
Sorry, I'm just going to ask you one question. So when you say a category of room, which category is this?
So this is anything above the base category, which is the deluxe room with balcony.
Deluxe room with balcony.
Anything above it you book, you get the high tea included in it. Otherwise, it's at a very nominal cost of 400 rupees, so that it's affordable and people can just enjoy it. So it has 2+2+2 is the configuration for it. We have two desserts. You have two hot snacks, two cold snacks, and which is everything is of a Goan nature.
Okay.
So we've started with poi pockets to kafrial pockets. So all this is poi pockets. I'm sure you're aware of.
Yeah. I'm not sure. I mean, you mentioned it initially when we started. It's all about local experience.
Correct. So if you see that way, so it kind of goes well because the guests who stay with us, they are here for breakfast, and then more so they go out during the day to a beach or to some place to visit, and they're back during the high tea. And to get refreshed, they're back from from having lunch or something. So then it becomes a very engaging place. It kind of the restaurant and the outside area that we have attached with the bakery, the Amarilla, kind of is abuzz with people.
Yeah, I mean, sit there and make plans for the evening.
Correct. And we have a small library along with the bakery. You can pick up a book, enjoy your high tea, and read through it.
So what time it starts and what time it ends?
It's from 4:30 to 5:30, but there's no ending time. People can just when you're relaxing, where you're going to go, just relax.
Okay, Himadri, I've seen the property. It's very nice, luxurious. Now, there's a question that came into my mind. Do you think, I mean, as a general manager, you travel to different destinations and finally you're here. Do you really see Goa turning out to be a luxury destination? Because I've seen a lot of brands coming in, and when I'm talking about good brands and 5 stars, definitely the price points do not go down. Or you think that as we go ahead and more brands come in, there will be a huge competition in terms of price points. So brands to aa jayenge, but probably that luxury feeling would come down.
So I have a different perspective of how you put through. So I'm just going to say, yes, there is Goa, how it was being perceived about a decade back, which was a backpacker's place. You would see a lot of foreign guests coming in, and it's just a subtle, very subtle. But now it has evolved further than that. You see a lot of luxury brands, as you correctly mentioned, coming in. And but nowadays, the travelers or the tourists who are coming in, they're much evolved than what we used to see about a decade back.
Correct.
They are not coming here for just the hotel or just the luxury. They want experiences. If you can create a differentiation in the experience, then you're set to attract the right kind of clientele that you wish them to come and explore. Like for us, our target clientele is from 25 to 45, and people who are looking for a different experience in Goa, not just a regular Goan party place or something of that. is that you can connect back with the culture, the
Right.
heritage, and we have selection experiences which are curated just around the stay. So we have experiences like paint a plate,
Okay.
So you can just take a terracotta plate, which is made in Goa, take a brush, sit along with your tea and coffee, paint it out,
Right.
just as a memory
Got it.
to take back,
Take
or
back.
and to break from the monotonous routine of being digital all the time, being
Got it.
online all the time.
Very true. Very true.
Which is
true.
very much required for us, as individuals to gain back our consciousness.
I think that's how everybody starts their day nowadays. You wake up and the first thing you do is take the phone.
Right, right. So, apart from that, if you see our experiences, what we have is memories on a plate. So, if in case you have a special recipe that you cook for yourself, you can share it with us.
Okay.
And we have a book where we will take it down. And if it is approved by the chef, we'll put it in our menu.
Oh, is
We have
it?
a menu which we serve to our guest, which is kind of shared recipes by our own guests.
So
that
will
other
you
guests can-
name the dish behind
Of
the...
course, of course.
Is it?
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
I'm going to talk to my mom.
So it's about the unique experiences that people will be
Right.
choosing over the pricing or over the luxury or about anything else. And to say on all fairity, of course, the capacity in Goa is increasing. That is
Right.
it's the absolute truth. We are having hotels opening. If I see
Left, right, and
ourselves,
center,
we as IHCL are increasing our numbers day by day in Goa itself and across India as well. So, but there is a demand for different segments. There demand for a Vivanta hotel. There is a demand for an IHCL selection. There is a demand for a Taj luxury hotel. So there is different kind of experiences. So you need to exactly know what kind of clientele or what kind of guest you want to cater to, and you need to attract them, and you need to have your experiences unique. If you can do that, then there is no stopping, and you don't need to, as you said, that you may need to compromise on your pricing. I don't think so. You may not need to compromise on your pricing, because there is enough and more guests who are willing to come, but for today they want to pay for the experience.
Based on the statements that you just made, there is one question I have for you now, and probably the most important one. Okay, the last and the most important one, because we just spoke about differentiation, we spoke about experiential, we spoke about a lot of things. Now, as a general manager of IHCL Selections property, the Yellow House, okay, what would be your 3 important points to convince a consumer to come and stay here?
Of course, Suraj, it is, thank you for giving me that opportunity to, tell you the USP for the hotel. But I think if anybody is looking for a unique experience, in Goa, they should definitely select us because of the experiences that we have curated around the stay. So it's a Goa with character. It's not Goa just as a destination, but if you want to stay where you want to feel the place, then you would like to stay with us because of the experiences that we curate. Secondly is the cuisine that we offer. There's a lot of emphasis that has been given to the local Goan food. As I said, the selection brand is hyper local. We source out all local ingredients,
Right.
and we have a lot of impetus that is given onto the Goan food. To give you some examples, you can enjoy the local Goan breakfast. What a Goan would have is like ross omelette.
Oh,
You will
is it?
find that. You will find that in our breakfast buffet.
Wow, okay.
So in the same way, in the rest of the food, when we lay out or we curate our buffets, you will have a lot of Goan local dishes being integrated into it. Apart from normal Indian, Asian, and continental cuisine being there, but apart from that, local Goan cuisine also you will find
Got it.
very prevalent in our food philosophy.
Okay.
So that's second. Thirdly, I would say, personalized hospitality, what IHCL has been known for over the last 120 years. And more so, Yellow House Goa IHCL Selections being only a 49-room hotel, it gives us the opportunity to know each and every guest personally. And cater to them and curate their experience personally. If somebody is coming here to celebrate their birthday or anniversary, it belongs as a impetus onto us to kind of ensure they have a memorable experience. And last but not the least, the location of the property, which is in Anjuna, which is in the thick and thin of Anjuna, Vekitor, Asagaon, and Parra, which is very well known for its nightlife, and a lot of things to do around us.
Thank you, Himadri. Thank you so much. That was Himadri Ray and talking about IHCL Selections as a brand and the Yellow House, the property in Anjuna Arpura border. Well, and if you are actually traveling to Goa, trust me, you need to experience this property. Every corner of this property talks about history and heritage. Definitely, the food is amazing because I've tried it. Being a local Goan, I've actually experienced the local food that is here, and yeah, and you must try it too. Himadri, thank you so much for such an insight on the brand and the property. So we'll see you once again in next episode of Travel Talks. Till then, see ya.